Hi everyone, welcome. Today we'll be focusing just on a short practice in grounding. Just being able to, again, being aware of the sensations that are occurring, but also to feel grounded with the earth. So we'll start in a standing position this time versus sitting. So bringing your feet to about hip width apart. And then just lift the shoulders up, back, and down. Just feeling them relax. And just feel that lengthening in the back. We're not stretching it, we're just kind of almost like a little thread coming up, lifting you up. And just being aware of just their surroundings. Maybe the air hitting your skin. What does it feel like? Bringing your breath, or bringing your focus inward to your breath. Feeling your breath as you inhale, belly rise, breath moving up. And as you exhale, feel it flowing down through your limbs, your legs. Almost like you've just kind of grown roots out of your feet. Just deepening that breath to nice full breaths. Taking some time to just allow our thoughts to calm. We're not trying to push them away, we're just trying to set them off to the side temporarily. To take all the thoughts that are like huge waves in our mind and just allow them to become calmer. Being aware of our breath, focusing on this breath throughout our practice, allowing us to become more mindful of how we feel in each pose. Where do we feel it? And if your eyes closed, you can gently open them. Bring your hands up with a nice deep inhale, palms together. Exhale to heart center. And then inhale up. Exhale out. Bringing your arms about shoulder height. And just rotate your wrists forward. And gently back. And slowly bringing your hands forward in front of you, palms together. Just reaching, feeling the opening in those shoulder blades. And releasing down. Hands behind your back, interlacing your fingers, and just gently open up your chest, pulling the shoulder blades together. Letting your chest rise slightly. And release. Doing a little bit of shoulder rolls, nice gentle rolls. We lift up, back, and down. Continuing this very gently. And then reversing it to the other way. This time we're going back, up, and forward, down. And release. Allow your right ear to come to your shoulder. Your chin to your shoulder. And slowly coming up to neutral. This time take your left ear to your shoulder. Chin to your shoulder. Lowering your chin to your chest. And slowly lift up to that neutral position. And then bring your feet in close together. Maybe bending your knees, resting your hands onto your thighs. Just very gently, small movements Take your knees and just bring them together. And then do a little bit of a circle. Remember, just small movements. You don't want to twerk your knee in any shape or way. And then go in the other way. And release, lifting yourself back up. Now, if you have a couple blocks handy, put those at the top of your mat. We'll come forward again. Your feet are about hip width apart. Bringing your hands out. Nice deep inhale, lifting up. Exhale, coming to heart center all the way down. Resting your hands onto the block. And then bending your knees, maybe bringing your belly to your knees. Into a nice forward fold. And inhale, lifting up into half fold, keeping the blocks handy. And exhale down to forward fold, and then slowly lifting yourself up. Bring your hands forward, reaching out in front of you, bending your knees, come into that chair pose, almost like you're just going to sit in that chair and not sure you want to. Just feel the sensations on here. Bring your palms together and slowly drawing them in. Maybe you want to do a little twist to the left. Or you can bring your elbow to your thigh. Coming forward again, this time twisting over to the right. And then back forward. And then slowly drawing yourself down into that forward fold. And then take your left knee, drawing it behind, or left foot, drawing it behind you. Rest your knee onto the mat. Slowly walking your blocks back, using them for just a little bit of lift. Keeping always, when we're in this position, keep your front knee above the ankle, not or behind, but you never want to go forward. Always good to protect our knees. And you can certainly use a blanket under your knees if you would like. And slowly lift up into a nice crescent. Arms up. Gaze forward. Feeling grounded, supported. And then slowly lowering your hands, your arms down to the outside of that right thigh. Fingers pointed down. It's a nice gentle twist, but almost feel like you're reaching for the ground. Being aware of where you feel it. And lifting up. And exhale, bringing your hands down to the blocks. Using the blocks for support, curl those back toes under, lifting that knee up off the mat. Making any adjustments you need to. When you feel supported, stable, you can slowly lift yourself up into that high lunge, into a nice crescent. Bringing your hands together, down to heart center. This time taking that left elbow over your right thigh. Coming back to center. Let your left hand come down, resting onto your back thigh. Lift your right arm into the air. Again, making adjustments as you need to. Being aware of where you feel this. Releasing, coming back down. Bringing your hands to the blocks. And then slowly walking the blocks forward. Putting your hands down to the mat. Slide that front foot back with the left foot coming into the down dog position. Just feeling that stretch, maybe alternating your feet, just like walking the dog, bending one knee, then the other. Pushing back onto both heels, slowly bring yourself forward into a plank position. Returning to that down dog. Drawing forward to that plank. Back to down dog. And then slowly walking your feet forward. Again, resting your hands onto the blocks, bending your knees to that forward fold. Rising to half fold. Coming down to that forward fold and lifting to a standing position. Palms together, exhale to heart center. Taking time to feel grounded in those feet. Focusing on your breath. Paying attention to what is happening in your body. A nice deep inhale, lifting up, palms together. This time as you exhale down to that forward fold again. Half fold. And this time when you come down to that forward fold, draw your right leg back, letting the knee rest onto the ground, walking back those blocks. Just feel that lift. Giving yourself a little time to feel stable, making adjustments, and then lifting your hands into that crescent. Slowly drawing your hands down to the outside of your left leg, fingers pointing down. Almost like you're trying to reach for the ground. Lifting your hands back up, palms together, coming to heart center this time. Take your right elbow, bringing it to that left thigh. Coming back to center, using your hands onto the blocks, lifting that back leg up, coming into that high lunge. Making any adjustments you need to. When you feel grounded, stable, lifting yourself into that high lunge. Coming into that crescent. And bring your palms together. Exhale to heart center. This time taking your fingers, interlacing them, pushing out forward. Lifting up into that crescent. Allow your right hand to come down, resting onto the back leg. Lifting your left hand up. And then windmill your hands down, grabbing onto those blocks, sliding them forward, hands to the mat. Slide your left foot back to meet with your right. Come into down dog. And let yourself alternate between plank and down dog. Do this a couple more times. And slowly walking your feet forward. Coming into that forward fold. And rise up to that standing position. Exhale to heart center. Slide your left leg back. bringing that back foot to the outside of the mat. Front foot facing forward. Let your hands come up to that warrior one, bringing your gaze on the front fingers. Excuse me. Let your left hand rest onto your leg, right palm up, reaching over. Slowly back to warrior two, bending that right forearm, resting it on your thigh, lifting up and over. Be aware of how you feel this. Where do you feel this stretch? We're going to make just a slight adjustment, and I want you to notice the difference. Coming back to warrior two, this time lifting your hands up and hold, almost like you're holding this big beach ball. And let yourself slowly come down back into that side angle. How different does this feel from before? And then slowly lifting up, releasing, turning both feet to face the outside of the mat, hands on your waist, bending at your hips. Come down, back parallel with the floor. And then slowly lifting up, turning that left foot face in the back of the mat, if I can learn to talk. Your right foot remains facing the outside of the mat, lifting your arms to that warrior two. Always paying attention to where our knee is, making sure it's not trying to go inwards, we want it to go out. And then just feel the stretch here in this right thigh as well, opening up those hips. Resting your right hand down on your thigh, lifting your left palm up. Exhale to warrior two. Bend that left forearm, resting it onto your thigh, lifting your right hand up and over. Being aware of how this feels right now. Feeling grounded, stable, lift yourself back to warrior two. Lift your arms up, grabbing onto that beach ball again. Once you have it, then slowly let yourself come back over to the side, leaning over like we did for side angle. How different does it feel? Do you still feel grounded? And slowly lifting up, releasing hands to your waist, turning both feet to face the outside of the mat one more time. Letting yourself this time come all the way down. Maybe you even want to grab your block. Bringing it in front of you, resting your hands on it, bringing yourself all the way down. Trying to keep that back relatively straight. Just really feeling the stretch in the back of the legs. Maybe feel a nice little stretch in that lower back as well. And then slowly, I always bend my knees just a little bit too before I come up. A little bit easier on the lower back. Heel toe your feet in, and then come into a standing position where your feet are about hip width apart. Take your right heel, bringing it to your left ankle. Your hands can be at heart center, or if it helps, you can have them out to your side, reaching out to opposite walls. Taking a breath here. And then slowly slide that heel up so it's underneath your knee or above your knee. Find your gaze on a non-moving object in front of you on the ground. And slowly bringing your foot down, bringing it in front of you, almost like your toes are trying to touch the ground. And if you need them to tiptoe, have your big toe touch the ground, that's perfectly fine. And then over to the side. And then behind. And release. Bringing your legs together. Take a breath here, paying attention to the difference between your two legs. One feels heavier, one feels lighter. And then when you're ready, take that left heel, bringing it to your right ankle. And then slowly sliding up that heel along your right leg. Bringing your gaze to that non-moving object on the floor. Just really feeling grounded on that right foot. Almost like roots have you holding to the ground. And then bring that foot down and in front of you. Reaching. Like your big toes trying to sink into the floor. And then out to the side. And back. And down. And then paying attention to how you feel right now. And if you find that you're shaking a little, that's perfectly normal. Or if you're unstable in one foot than the other, that happens. It's normal. There are times when my balance is so off I can't even do it. So, taking a nice deep breath, palms together. And exhale to heart center. Slowly heel toes your feet out a little bit. So you want your toes looking kind of a little wider than hip width apart. Toes pointing out slightly, heels in. Slowly lower yourself into a squat. Now again, you can certainly grab onto those blocks and sit on them. And then letting one hand come to the floor in front of you, the other one in back. Let yourself come into a seated position. Legs out straight. Draw that right knee into your chest, bringing that foot close. Left leg straight out in front of you. Wrap your left arm around that right leg. Right hand behind you for support to help keep your back straight. You don't want to go back like this. And releasing, this time drawing that left knee into your chest. Wrapping your right arm around it, left arm back, twisting to the left. And releasing. Keeping your legs out in front of you. Keeping your gaze forward. Let your hands come to your thighs or maybe down to the floor. And slowly walk yourself forward, keeping that back straight. So you don't want to do a deep bend. Just a nice gentle bend. Bring your gaze down to your knees. Like I said, we're not trying to twerk our back at all. We're just kind of slowly letting our back just relax. Evening out from all the twists we have done. And then slowly walking back. Draw the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. Hands can wrap around your feet if you would like. Take a couple breaths here. And slowly releasing. If you would like to take a little bit of a break for yourself, take a Shavasana, maybe lay back, relax for a little bit. Take some time for you. But for now, I thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to guide you, and I hope you have an amazing day. Namaste.